What's up, everybody? Welcome back to the channel. Alright, on today's episode we're going to be working on the 300. I have noticed that when I go to start the car in the mornings and I turn the key on and let the fuel pump prime, as soon as the fuel pump stops priming, where you'd think that it would be holding fuel pressure, it's actually going all the way back down to 0 on my fuel pressure regulator. So the fuel pump is probably pretty worn out. So we're going to be changing that out. It should be pretty easy. I already opened up the gas tank. So you're just going to have to pop this off and then smack this little ring off with like a flathead or something. And then we'll jack it up, take off the tires, or at least this side because the fuel line comes down up into here. Can't see shit, but it comes down up into there and into the tank. So we'll be taking that off. Stupid that these cars don't have a area in the back of the trunk to get to the fuel pump itself. They have an area that you can open up and it will get to the wiring and like the fuel level. It'll tell you how much gas is in it. It shows you that area, but the pump is actually off to the right of that. Pretty stupid that they did that. I don't know why they did, because in every other goddamn Nissan ever made that I can know of, they have a door that goes right to the fuel pump. Like the GTR has a door that goes right to the fuel pump. The 370 has a door right behind the passenger seat, goes right to the fuel pump. These S12s have the best doors that go to the fuel pumps ever. So easy. Right when you take it off, it's like in your face. So, yeah, we're going to be getting to that. But this one's a hassle, so I have to drop the entire tank. Probably the only Nissan that you have to drop the tank to do this job. Well, besides the pickup down there that we got to do that on too, but we'll be getting around to that when we get there. But yeah, so I'll get this thing jacked up and start getting at it. All right, after you got the wheel off, you can take off your gas cap and then get a flathead and a rubber mallet. Put it on these little square doodads, and you'll just keep pushing. I already broke mine free a little, so it should come off easier. There we go. Might get a little bit of shit in my tank, so I'm going to put a paper towel there before I do that. But yeah, that's what you do. You just unscrew that, and then once the wheel is off, there's a 10 millimeter there, 10 millimeter there, 10 millimeter there, and I think there might be one down there somewhere. But you'll take that off, and then your whole hose will be able to come down when you drop your tank. Tank is only held up there by these two straps. So there's one there, the other one's over there. Just undo those. I'd advise you to run as much gas out of your tank as you can. If you have a Digi-Dash and you can't tell how much fuel you have, just, I don't know, drive until your bitchin' Betty tells you that your fuel is low. Thank God mine still actually does that. And it like once a day will like flicker and tell me how much gas I have. So while I'm driving, I just kind of like look down and I'll be like, oh, okay, cool. Half tank. And then just remember it from there. But yeah, coming along pretty easily. All right, once you get the 5 little bolts that hold that on there, you will need to take off these ones here, this one there, and these ones up here. It's a good time to get a brush and maybe get off the dirt. But this is all unhooked already and ready to go, so I just wrap those out real quick and get the 2 straps and should be it. And then just have to disconnect the wiring from the trunk and see if I can reach those hoses from the trunk. I'm pretty sure you can't though, so I'll probably have to drop the tank down about a foot or so and then reach my hands up there with like a flathead and some long needle nose and pop the fuel lines off. But moving along, almost there. All right, after you get the bracket all removed and this shit is just sitting there freely, open your hatch, and then under the carpet, peel up your sound deadener stuff. You'll unclip these 2 plugs. I already did that, super easy. Then we're going to pop this thing open and push these through there. So that way we can get the tank dropped down a bit and we can get to those hoses. Okay, so turns out to get up into there to remove these lines, you can get this first one, which is just this big kind of like evap line, and you can pull it through the little body hole right there. For the next ones that are way up there, if you got just the normal like squeeze ties, you might be able to get to it, but all of these are like super rusty. So I'm undoing the lines right here, and there's an evap line right here that's covered up by this little box. So you'll get those out. Easy way to not get these two lines mixed up is to get two different color paint pens and mark each one of them so you don't accidentally put the fuel sending in the return or whatever. So, yep, get into that, and then the tank should just come right down. Alright, now you disconnect those and you'll pull those over when your tank comes down. Make sure that you don't have a lot of gas in there. Mine probably has a half tank, so it was heavy as shit. I had to get some help to pull it down. But once that's off, we're going to be focusing on this part. This is just your fuel level for your dash. Mine really doesn't work, so not really much I can do with it. Maybe I could pull it up and use some IPA on the contacts, on the slide on it. Maybe I'll do that. I don't know. I'll see once I open this thing up. But yeah, it's going to be pretty easy. Get these 8mm bolts off. Looks like there's 6 of them. And then we'll pull the pump up and swap it out. Alright, once you get those little 6 bolts out, you'll pull your pump assembly up, and it's pretty straightforward. Just unhook the fuel pump, put the new one in. I'm going with the Walbro 255 because I don't really have high aspirations for this car. It's more like that one or this one, but should do it just fine. Maybe bump it up, hopefully someday, get that thing to 350. Just a nice, comfortable daily. And for a VG, you know that would last forever. But yeah, we'll get this switched over and get her put back together. Alright, new pump is on. Pretty simple, comes with all the connectors, just trim them down. I use my connectors with these nifty little heat shrink solder joints, so that's what's under the factory clips right here. I always like those because they just don't come apart and you know that they're fused together. So pump's all on and in, make sure it stays in there. The hose was definitely a little long, so it's pushing the pump down pretty good, but I still put one holder in there just for shits. So we'll get it put back in, but I think I'm going to drain the gas out so that way when I go and put it back in, it's not so heavy. So yeah, almost there, and then we'll fire it back up and see how it is. Okay, got everything reassembled, wheel back on, torqued down, electrical plugged in, rerouted and tucked away. The underside hose is tightened up. Let's see if she works. It's definitely a different sound for the fuel pump, that's for sure. Hey, was that thing working? Oh, look at that. It's telling me that I got 13 liters left. A little under a quarter tank. Wow, that's crazy if that got fixed. But I'm going to try to let it cycle through a couple times. Sometimes you got to let it sit for a second. There we go. Alright, let's see if she does it. Fired right up. Sweet. Now we're just kind of looking around to see if we can see any fuel dripping down. I don't see any yet. sweet deal. I don't know if I give it the rev and if she kind of bogs a little bit. Oh God, no, she's super responsive now. Heck yeah. Well, all right, everybody. Thanks for watching. That's how you do the fuel pump in one of these things. Pretty simple and easy. The only time you're going to need 2 people is if you have too much gas in the tank like I did. But yeah, so thanks for watching. Don't forget to like and subscribe and follow along. Leave us some comments. We really need them. And we got a lot more to come.